size wisp that he has by that tavern. That's a crazy place for a wisp. You can't actually attack that with a melee thing, melee hero or ghoul or anything like that. But so don't waste time doing that. But it can't really see anything, so don't worry about that either. So you see size attacking the base right now. What you want to do is just take that cold tower, focus it on the panda. If it doesn't have an invulnerability potion, focus all the gargs, focus the orb on the panda. Tell him to fuck off. Okay, panda's dead. Now, now you can pretty much crush his dryads. I mean, he's going for the dryads because he wants to. Because once the dryads are dead, the bears can't attack the guards. It's not like the other way around. If all the bears are dead, the dryads can still attack the bears. So it just makes sense. And they also have the most favorable attack to armor matchup. So that's what you want to do. And also, when you're doing that, make sure you have the Lich's orb focusing on the same thing as the Gargs are focusing on. I mean, the orb's power is really in the hands of the beholder. It's a very powerful orb if you combine it with the full force of your army. If you just have the hero doing it, it's not that great of an orb. That's the true power of the Orb of Corruption. So, so yeah, this is the whole elf versus undead matchup, I guess, in a nutshell. It's basically the elf trying to force a fight, and the undead trying to delay that fight, and I don't know, corrupting the elf as he goes. So like killing wisps, slowing him down, stopping his creeping, canceling his expansion, canceling his buildings, killing his gold mine, you know, things like that that make him unable to fight you at that point, or unable to face you mano a mano. And a nice thing about facing Dark Range is actually you can do this, and you can basically like reach into his army and rip out the dryads. And he doesn't have, well, this is also because the panda's dead, but he doesn't have a demon hunter that can really punish your Gargs for doing that. So, I mean, feel free to take advantage of that as well. Yeah, he might, if this game had been a little bit closer, he might have actually wanted to switch to Frostworms, or if he was still using ghouls, maybe destroyers to dispel the skeletons. But since he wasn't, and also because he's winning this game so easily, he didn't really want to switch to Frostworms, I don't think. I think he just wanted to do it Garg style. Yeah, they're really such a beauty, and just like slicing and dicing your opponent with just gargoyles, you know? Like you whittle away at everything they've got until they have nothing. And then you run around with your heroes like a lunatic, like the Death Knight and the Lich, just nuking anything in sight. Those are my favorite kind of games to play. Because you really have nothing. Like if he could actually get his shit together and force the fight right now, you know, so I could still win the game. But the fact that like you're always 2 steps ahead of him, you're always at his base killing his stuff before he's at yours, like that's what really makes this strategy. So you want to take full advantage of the fact that you can go over trees, the fact that you have Unholy Aura, and you can race around the map and back in half the time it takes him. So yeah, and not take advantage of the fact that you can't really fight him. So yeah, as I was saying before, these Gargs are just chasing down the only thing that can attack them, really, the Dryads, and Sai's trying to get his bears to attack APM's base, but it's not really working out too well. An important thing is, yeah, scrolls. I don't know, I guess that's kind of obvious, but, you know, it's filler. Always buy scrolls when you're going Gargs, especially against the panda. Yeah, you just at the end, he was just focusing that panda down in 2 seconds. So that's a real important thing, though. Always check which hero has the invulnerability potion. Something a lot of people don't realize, but it just that millisecond it takes to check makes a world of difference. And if you don't want to fight him, you don't have to. You just kill their heroes. And if you want to fight him, then save the heroes for last. You know, don't let them town portal out and save. Don't force them to town portal out. If they didn't realize that, they couldn't win that battle. So that was my audio commentary, I guess. I hope it was decent. I hope it's a tough act to follow Cygnus's audio commentary, but I did my best and my worst, and yeah. So I guess that's what you want to do in this game versus Dark Ranger first on Echo Isles. You want to creep the good camps in the middle while his attention is elsewhere. Then you want to try and either delay the expansion. You can really do that too instead of what APM did. I think APM was doing that a little tongue-in-cheek, but I mean he pulled it off with a lot of style, despite the fact that he lost both his heroes in quite the stupid way. But I mean that'll happen against Elf because Dryads really have the potential to mess you up. So yeah, he put up the expansion, then he went massive amounts of Gargs. He could have switched to Fiend, A-Bomb, Banshee, Frostworm, Statue, kind of like unbeatable army. He could have done that as well. He also could have gone straight to tier 3 if he didn't want to go Gargs and get A-Bombs. And what you can actually do is if the Dark Ranger user gets an expansion up, you can actually get like a meat wagon or two and get an attack upgrade or two and like get frenzy on your goals. And since you can't really fight him because he's got his Dark Arrow and stuff, you can just bum rush his expansion and just take it down. So that's something you also want to do if you get in that kind of situation, where maybe he cancels your second crypt so you can't go Gargs. And then he goes and expands or something like that, and also just to bring variety to your play. So you can do that, or you can. But I think what APM did was like the smartest thing. I think creeping those middle camps was a really intelligent move on his part. I mean, it just makes sense. Like what should you do when he's putting up an expansion and creeping all his camps? Well, you creep the camps that are on no man's land. You get those creeps first, and you get level 3 faster than he does, I think. I'm not actually sure. But that level 3 is really great for killing all those archers, because if he shows up at your base with 10 archers and you only have ghouls, you're pretty much screwed. So you're going to have to rely on... so something like level 2 coil is really going to help you whittle down his army before he can actually get to your base and get up in your face. So that's about it. I mean, if you didn't really have an idea of what the Dark Ranger user is aiming to do, you can take a look at what Psy did in that game. I think he did a fairly good representation of it. The reason why he didn't go so many archers, I think, is because APM got level 3 so quickly, and they basically would have been Coil Nova fodder. So I think that's his reasoning for not going so many archers. In a game where an undead is... I mean, I actually didn't find that many games. I guess it's because of the new patch. With this Dark Ranger first, I think people are going more Beastmaster, but this is something you should always know how to counter because it is very strong, especially if you don't know how to counter it. So that's about it. I have to talk about today. I'm just going to close up. I think my next audio commentary is going to be on uses of Banshees, because there are some games that you do have to use Banshees, and I think like you actually have to. It's not like the creative choice versus Orc, like I had before. And there are some games where you have to use Banshees, and I'd really like to point that out and make some of you guys who don't believe that Banshees are useful at all aware of that fact. So I hope you liked it. I really don't like to do too long audio commentaries. Like I noticed there's been a trend toward like really long audio commentaries. Maybe they're really helpful, but I like these to be like a TV show or something, like an episode. Like this game happened and you can learn from this snapshot in time, like these strategies and like these counters and stuff like that. And I'd like to pick the best snapshots of that to maximize your 20 minutes. So let me just see what I have. Okay, so that's 28 minutes. That's pretty long. But still, it's still pretty relatively short compared to some other things. So that's what I like to do. And I hope you enjoyed this audio commentary, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Till next time, peace, guys.